Welcome back. I'm Felix, and doing my next Reddit story is my wife of 6 years just told me she's leaving me. This one is from OK Storytime. It's one of their clips. It's a clip from their whole podcast. Now I'll leave a link for the clip. I don't know which one it came from, but I'll leave a link for their site. I have not watched any of their stuff. This is the first time I remember ever seeing them. Again, just because it's the first time for me doesn't mean anything. There's tons of YouTube channels I have never seen that are immensely popular, but for whatever reason, I just don't see them. So, but maybe once I get more into Reddit stories or something, they'll start popping up. But let's see what's going on with this wife of 6 years.
Of 6 years just told me she's leaving me for someone else. Dang. Uh-oh. Hi, Reddit. I'm here because I need to share my story and maybe gain some perspective from others who've been through something similar. It's been a tough few months and I'm still coming to terms with everything that's happened. Maybe by putting it out there, I'll find some clarity or at least feel less alone. By the way, this comes from deleted on the OK Storytime subreddit. So, to start, I'm 38 years...
You know, what's interesting is... I forgot what I was going to say. My brain froze up. But what I think is interesting is when you see these stories of people who've been together for long periods of time, 6 years, 10 years, even 20 years, and then suddenly, I'm leaving you for someone else. It's like, what? It's just out of nowhere. But sometimes, is it really out of nowhere, or were you just not paying attention?
Years old and my wife is 37. We've been married for over 6 years and together for nearly 9 years. We have 2 young kids together, and for most of that time, I thought we were a solid family unit. Sure, we had our ups and downs like any marriage, but I never imagined things would unravel the way they did. A few months ago, she told me she was leaving. She blindsided me with a divorce and said she was unhappy in our marriage and had been for a long time. She said she loved me but wasn't in love with me. I was devastated. In my shock and desperation, I got a counselor and threw myself into the gym, hoping I could prove to her that I could change and that we could reconcile. We weren't perfect in our marriage, no one is, but when you love someone, you accept them, flaws and all. The small...
Yeah, flaws and all. I don't condone cheating. I don't care how, well, let me rephrase that. I don't condone cheating. Unless they're like being abusive or something, even then, get out the relationship, move on. Because if you're in an abusive relationship and you cheat, that's just going to make things worse. You don't want to do that. But even if the marriage has grown stale and boring and all that stuff, if you're not communicating, how's the other person supposed to change? And if you haven't said anything, really the only person you got to blame is yourself. It sounds like she did, just from this right here all up to this point, it sounds like she really didn't say anything. Or I kind of wonder if she did say something, and that's why he started doing all this stuff. He left that out. But yeah, there's a reason they say communication is key in a relationship.
All things don't matter, especially when you've built a life together. A whole kingdom you've dreamed would last. I soon found out she was already involved with someone else. I mean, that's the thing.
That's the kicker.
If she actually was, wanted to work on your relationship, she would have brought it up. She would have said, hey, it's not like something's not
blind
right.
side.
Someone from her workplace who is 31 years old.
It's always someone at work. What is with that?
And harder to swallow was that this someone else was also married to his 30-year-old wife, and they have a newborn.
Jesus.
Oh my God. Both my wife and new partner upended their lives to be together without a word to me or his wife until it was too late. I later learned that he had even told his own wife nearly every day about my wife and me, and that he loved my wife more than he loved her. Wow.
What?
Whoa.
Jeez.
That revelation hit me like a ton of bricks. Meanwhile, my wife never once mentioned him to me, not even in passing. When I asked her about work, she'd tell me nothing of him, and when I tried to talk about the affair after it came to light, she denied everything or told me it was none of my business. How is that none of your
husband?
It's none of your business if I cheat on you. Jeez. Oh, my goodness. I don't get cheating. I'll be honest with you, I really don't. Well, let me rephrase it. I understand the psychology of cheating. People get off on the thrill of it, or they think they found something better. But overall, there really isn't a reason to cheat. movies will have you thinking, especially with women, they'll have you thinking that it's okay to cheat if the marriage is going south. No, it's not. You're the bad guy in that situation. So just leave the marriage. Don't cheat. If you're really that unhappy, leave the marriage and let that person move on with their life. Don't do that.
Been with this man for 9 years.
Yeah, that's bad. That's tough.
The hardest part to accept is that while this emotional affair was unfolding, she and I were still going through the motions of our marriage. We were still intimate. We still shared fun moments.
Oh, that's even worse. Like what? I just thought, like, was she hooking up with him before she come home, and he would still be with her, so to speak? Ah, that's even. If I found that out, I probably would lose it. I'll be honest with you, I'd probably lose it.
We continue to be affectionate.
Actually, no, if I had kids, I would lose it in court, so to speak. I would take her for everything she's worth.
To me, it felt like we were happy. Even though I sensed some distance at times, I thought we were just in a rough patch that we could work through. But clearly, she had already started detaching herself from me in ways I didn't fully understand. It's painful to look back and wonder how much of that intimacy was real and how much was just going through the motions. Then, just a week after blindsiding me with the news that she was leaving, she blindsided me again, this time with divorce papers. Stop.
Okay, first of all, the second blind side you should have seen that. She said she's leaving. Of course she's going to give you divorce papers. I also feel this guy was oblivious to stuff going on around him if he feels he was blindsided with divorce papers after she says she's leaving. But still, that's not an excuse to cheat. Again, not a fan of cheating, so...
This man. He has no
poor
eyes.
guy.
We both have lawyers, and the process has been messy and emotionally exhausting. The demands she made felt outrageous and cruel. She asked for 91% custody of our kids, essentially wanting me to have very limited access to them. Honestly, I think OP could probably win
Reverse Uno card.
Yeah, because she cheated on him.
Yeah.
So he could probably get more custody.
That's wild.
She wanted us to sell our house, and she requested a substantial amount in child support and childcare costs. I love my children deeply and have always supported them, so to be asked to give up most of my assets felt like a punch to the gut. It felt like she wanted me to sacrifice everything I've worked for so she could start a new life with someone she technically barely knows. After my breakdown, I went through inpatient care and started counseling.
Yeah, he needs to have a cutthroat lawyer and just tear her apart.
Didn't let me see my kids at all. Ugh.
So sad.
I have text messages where I asked to see them, but her response is always, I don't feel safe with the kids around you. Just
That's so sad because it
horrible.
seems like he was a very good father.
It seems like he was a good dad. I mean,
I'd have a breakdown too if my partner blindsided me with divorce and like cheated on me.
And stole my kids.
Yeah, geez.
I've been trying to put myself back together piece by piece, but it hasn't been easy. The hardest part is being separated from my kids. Every time she denies me
Wonder how old these kids are, because they said young kids. But my kids had phones when they were pretty young. And in this day and age, a lot of young kids have phones. I'd be texting the kids, hey, how's it going? What's going on? FaceTime, and like, don't tell mom, please. And I would explain to them, I would actually explain to the kids why you can't tell mom. But if you feel necessary to tell mom, I understand. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily, I'm trying to think how to word it. I guess no, I wouldn't put that pressure on them, but I would explain to them. I think I would just tell them the truth about everything. Be honest with you.
I take a screenshot and send it to my lawyer, building up evidence for our upcoming temporary custody hearing. So they don't even have a specific custody agreement.
Yeah.
She's just keeping him from
his
kids.
Yeah, that wouldn't work with me. I'd just go and get my kids. It's like, there is no custody agreement. I'm allowed to see my kids. This is technically, in some cases, depending on the state, that could be considered kidnapping. So he could actually get her for that. But he's really doing the right thing by being patient, sending everything to the lawyer, and building up a case.
That's messed up.
What's worse is the feeling that I've been replaced, not just as a husband, but as a father. Her new partner, the same guy she left me for, was introduced to my kids right out of the gate. Also, so messed up.
That's weird.
He's now spending more time with them than I am, doing things with them that I used to do, and it stings. Her family, who I was close with for almost a decade, is so accepting of this relationship that they let him come over to their house all the time now. Who are these people?
That's so weird, and he just had a baby too.
Yeah. And I mean, mean, like, OP's ex's family is accepting, even though OP's been in this relationship for 9 years.
For so long. Yeah, that's
And they
a
have kids.
punch in the gut.
I never in a million years thought my kids' grandparents would be like this. They always seemed very traditional, but now I feel like I no longer matter to them. Adding to the stress, I told her I wasn't leaving the house, which she didn't take well. Because of this, she ended up moving in with her parents. Meanwhile, it feels like she and her new boyfriend are moving at warp speed.
Yeah, they are moving awfully fast. Only for her to pop up like she's pregnant or something.
I don't understand how they think this will last. They have completely different ideologies, a significant age gap, and the relationship began by both of them cheating on their respective spouses.
They will cheat
It's
again.
not gonna last. It's not
Great
gonna last.
foundation.
Yet somehow they think they're going to beat the odds and defy the statistics. To make things even harder, they work together constantly. She's in human resources. She's in
Maybe
HR.
rethink that.
She's in HR.
She could be out of a job. They both could be out of a job.
How do you like report yourself?
She needs to be reported. And he's in safety. They're with each other all day at work and even after work. He can write people up and send them to her to handle, which is a complete ethics violation. How they both still have a job is beyond me. Everyone they work with knows about the affair and nobody there trusts them anymore. But they either don't seem to care or are oblivious to it. Which is, I mean,
Wow.
everyone there knew about it.
They're in their little careless cheating bubble.
Yeah.
It all depends on the job. There might be a reason they couldn't fire him. Just having an affair is not necessarily grounds to be fired from a job, but she's in HR, which can be sticky for someone in HR. He's in safety. There may be something where it wasn't viewed as a conflict of interest for them to date.
And no one like thought to tell OP.
And they don't have shame.
Well, they may not know OP. They probably don't know him. Like, I don't know any of my wife's co-workers well enough to be like, I'm going to go tell your spouse what you're doing. I wouldn't do that. So, yeah, you wouldn't do that.
I keep asking myself if there was something I could have done to prevent this. I've tried to reach out, tried to be civil, and even offered help when it comes to our kids, but every attempt seems to fall flat. She's moving on, and I'm left picking up the pieces, feeling like I never got a fair chance to fix what was broken. Because you didn't break it. You know, you might have had problems, but if she was going to be a coward and not bring them up to you,
Yeah.
or end the relationship like a sane person,
Yeah.
then none of that is your fault.
No.
Her cheating is all on her.
She decided she wanted to end this, and
Yeah.
there was nothing that you could have done about it.
No.
As I was saying earlier about communication, there was nothing she wanted to fix. She wanted out of this relationship. She didn't want him no more. She already decided to move on, probably even before she met that guy at work, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm focusing on the little things I can control. Going to the gym, working with my counselor, and doing my best to show up for my kids in any way I can. I'm trying to let go of the past and accept that the person I loved may no longer be the same, but it's hard to separate those
The truth is that was never the person you loved. That was all an act, to be honest with you.
memories from the person she is now. But you should never...
Okay, well, that was just a clip, so I don't know what their reactions were. Again, like I said, I'll leave a link for their site. But yeah, in this case, there's nothing to fix. Most likely, if the family was so quick to accept it, I guarantee the family wasn't who you thought they were either. They probably do stuff that you don't know about. So there's that. But yeah, this guy just needs to keep doing what he's doing, tracking everything, and yeah, people are just horrible, man. But yeah, as long as he stays calm and stays persistent and just keeps up with it, he'll come out on top. Unless he has a crappy lawyer. If he has a crappy lawyer, then he's screwed. But otherwise, hopefully you got a shark of a lawyer. All right, everyone. Again, like I said, I'll leave a link. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And everyone take care. Later.